What a difference a weekend makes. Pirates have a horrible series against the Cardinals. The first place Reds come to town, and they aren't the first place Reds anymore. Good morning, and welcome to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf. This is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates, who at the moment are flying high. The Reds came to town. It was You don't want to overemphasize how important a series is in May, the first series of May, but it felt kind of important. It was the end of a run of 10 straight divisional games, and the Pirates had lost 5 in a row. And that included a 4-game sweep at home to the Cardinals, a team that a lot of people predicted to be last in the division, but has been very pesky early on. It's been a very good division. Reds come to town, and Pirates put belt to butt for a couple of these games. 17-7 on a Saturday, where they, showed patience and power at the plate. On Sunday, it was Braxton Ashcraft's pitching. It was a complete series, finding ways to win. And we talk about sometimes just out-talenting the other team. That was most of this series. Whether it's the offense just popping off finally, or on Sunday where Braxton Ashcraft just flushes that Cardinals start and performs. And I think Ashcraft is a good place to start here, because that Cardinals start was so out of character for him. He had been so reliable this season, and it was one of those, he was away from the team. It was, he was on the bereavement list. The schedule was a little off, and I think that was a big reason for it all. He just wasn't there. It was a throw off, things beyond his control. This week, stuff that he can control, delivers the longest start of his career. The old school baseball fan in me, whenever, he and Kelly were talking on the mound in the 8th inning, was like, oh man, come on, give him a chance to get a win. But it was the right call to go to Gregory Soto there. And Soto gets the last 4 outs of the game. Konnor Griffin, who we're going to talk about Konnor Griffin tomorrow, but he comes through, delivers a clutch hit. Oneil Cruz, a clutch hit 2 batters later. This was kind of the vision, wasn't it? This was always the vision, that one of their young pitchers would come and deliver a outstanding start. Konnor Griffin will make an impact in some way. He does. And then Oneil Cruz, the guy that, can take control of a game for the Pirates here, delivers the winning hit. That was kind of always the vision for this team, right? We saw it fully on Sunday. And that's on top of just 2 quality wins earlier on in the week. Mitch Keller was great on Friday. The whole team, delivered on Saturday. Even Majinski, I mean, it wasn't his best start, but he still struck out 10. So you saw things that were like, okay, there's a vision here. I don't want to overemphasize one series in May, but this is a big one. When asked about it after Sunday's game, Konnor Griffin said, yeah, it shows we're a different clubhouse. Now, I would argue he was in different clubhouses coming up through the minors last year, but I like the sentiment. I like the point. And I think it's true, because there were times in 2025 and beyond, the whole 2020s, that I've been in that clubhouse, that whenever they have series like they had in that Cardinals, it can be tough to just flush. It can be tough just to pull that 180 to not let it carry over. And they didn't let it carry over. And it started with the starting pitching, but it was the offense also responding, creating opportunities, creating runs. It was what I think the most optimistic version of this Pirates team could be. That's what we saw against the Reds. That's what we saw against a team that made the playoffs last year, that came into PNC Park on top of this division, the best division in baseball. And Pirates just did not let them ever come up for air. That was the idealized version of what this team could be, that they can pitch at you, that they can get contributions throughout the lineup, that they will have the bullpen, to come through in those big spots. Gregory Soto coming in the eighth, took care of runners in the corners. Hell, Joey Bart, getting contributions for everyone. Joey Bart, that big at bat. It could have been 2-0, but he challenged twice and he made it 0-2. That was all the difference in the world. Just a good team series. They needed it. It's a long, long way to go. It's still the toughest division in baseball at the moment. But they have taken care of business against the teams that people expected to be competitive. Took care of business in Chicago. Took care of business in Milwaukee. Took care of business twice against the Reds. It's really just the Cardinals who, like I said, I think they're the weakest out of the teams in this division. Not to discredit them, but if you were going to blink against one of them, I think you would settle for that and taking care of the three teams that were perceived as more legitimate playoff threats, the three teams that were coming off of the playoffs last year. Pirates have done that. Big 180 series. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back here in a minute and a half.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Don Kelly was asked on Sunday what kept the Cardinals series from snowballing. Because like I said, I've seen series like that snowball, and that it's tough to, just flip the switch, have a 180, even if it is a new opponent coming in. And Kelly credited the veteran leadership. Quote, "I know most of you have been around in there. It's been the same. That's really what it's going to take as we go through the season. That Pittsburgh mentality of grit, fight, toughness, and to continue to play like that was evident in this homestand." I think that was very apparent in the back half. And I know there are still 2 more series against the Reds. There are 3 more series against the Brewers and the Cubs, and 3 more against the Cardinals too. There is a lot of NL Central ball to be had, but if the Pirates can just take control and be able to handle their divisional opponents, I think that will go a long way. I know there are fewer divisional games than a decade ago, and there's 2 fewer series against each team. It's as simple as that. And that makes the argument that you don't have to beat the division to win the division. I firmly disagree still. I think if you handle your division, good things will come from it. And so far the Pirates have, outside of 1 series, and twice, their 2 ugliest series this year against the Mets and against the Cardinals, they've had the Reds to follow right after. And the Reds are, like I said, they're coming off a playoff berth. They are a team that is constructed very similarly to the Pirates, that is going to be leaning on their starting pitching, that is going to try to win close ball games. Pirates just took care of them twice. The Reds have been a get-right team for the Pirates this year. I am a little surprised by that. I don't know if that's going to last, but you know what? They've shown they can beat them offensively. They have shown they can out-pitch them. They can out-hit them. They can outfield them. They can out-bullpen them. It's only 6 games, but those are 6 important games to go 5-1 in. I want to see if the starting pitching can keep this tempo up, though. Because that's really going to be the furnace of this team. That's going to have to be what drives them. And I'm convinced it was Mitch Keller on Friday. Just going out there and having a great start. That helped turn the tide. That helped turn the tide. It prevented the Pirates from going to under 500. I'm not going to overemphasize that, a sweep in the first series of May is going to make or break our season, because it won't. It won't. But it was the first time this team had faced real adversity, it felt like. They had had ugly losses that they had bounced back from. They had had moments where, they wore it. They shouldered it. They moved on. But this was the first real time they faced adversity. Whenever they couldn't do anything right against the Cardinals. And their most reliable players did not come through. Dennis Santana didn't come through. Paul Skeens didn't come through. Big free agents like Marcell Ozuna did not come through offensively. It was a rough series. To flip the switch was good. How far can they go? They're getting a much-needed breather on Monday before they start a West Coast trip. A West Coast trip against the Diamondbacks team that could very well be in that wild card mix too, and a Giants team that I think thought was going to be in the wild card mix. I don't think they're particularly good right now, but they are going to have some opportunities to continue to prove that this wasn't just 3 games. Konnor Griffin's going to have opportunities to show that, yeah, he is getting better at the major league level. The rotation is going to have an opportunity to prove, like, yeah, we can control ball games. It is a really good series. This was a very good series. It was a very good weekend. It salvaged the homestand and this stretch of 10 straight games against the division. Pirates go 5-5. They won and more, but you know what? If you're going to have a 5-game losing streak, going 5-5 is the best you can do. Still a long way to go. Still a lot of that they have to prove. But you know what? If you could not tell from the tone of this offbeat compared to the previous offbeat, it seems like they're on the upswing. And you know what? Konnor Griffin wasn't in that clubhouse last year, but he did call it. It is a different vibe in that room. And if Don Kelly wants to credit it to the veterans like O'Hearn and Lau and the guys they brought in for helping to set that pace, that works too. And if you want to listen to every offbeat and see how much my voice changes episode to episode, check us out wherever you find a fine podcast or on YouTube. You can see my smiling face and you can see section 322. All right. This has been Offbeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.